Greetings, good people, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I am Nuku, the Horned Dakini, coming out to give you guys a reading. So pull on up, come on in. This could be a resourceful reading for you, okay? Newbies, hello. I hope that you do choose to subscribe and stay. I am delighted to have you, and you are welcomed here. OGs and returnees, thank you so much for coming back, okay? So I do have a message for the collective. So, of course, if you're here, you are already pulled in by the title, and I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that the title reached out and touched someone, okay? But I know that I am talking to a collective individuals that just need to be reminded of who they are and to not forget about that divine magic, your divine magic, the magic that naturally and authentically and organically lives within all of us. We just have to exercise it. A lot of people exercise a lot of other things in their lives, right? A lot of, they exercise the body, which is wonderful. They exercise the mind, wonderful. They exercise having healthy emotions, wonderful. All these other things that you exercise, yet you do not exercise your magic. It is a muscle as well. It has to be worked, it has to be flexed, it has to be used, or you lose it. And I am seeing a lot of people are not having access to their magic, their inner mojo, their own divine energy. Okay, so I'm going to do a little read piece. I'll talk freely about it as I incorporate the cards on this as well. Okay, thank you, sweet spirit, for using me as a trusted and true vessel to bring about a message for the collective that will soon be here to view this reading. Give me light. Got this reading with love. Give me the darkness. Guide this reading up out of fear for those who are here that are fearful. Okay, let's address that. Show me clearly. So first and foremost, I know that I'm talking to a collective of people who you started doing things. You begin to do certain things. You begin to tap in and understand and fine tune some things, and then you stopped. I don't know why you stopped. It could be an array of reasons. There's a plethora of reasons why people stop doing something that is considered taboo, or they stop doing something that maybe you don't have support in, so you don't have that little jolt, that little push that you need to keep going, right? Because you may be surrounded by people who either you never told them you were doing this thing because you knew they were not going to agree with it, or maybe you're just not in a healthy environment, period. You're not around anybody that does anything outside of the robot norm, so you didn't feel motivated to even begin to do something that you knew that your soul had been calling you to do, right? To feed something within you that has been clawing at you for years, right? So wherever you lie on that spectrum, I'm talking to you because it is time. It's that time. It is time to tap in if you never have, or tap back in if you did and then lost the mojo. Okay, so let's go ahead and get at least 3 cards out. I'm definitely going to have to pull more than 3, but I want to start with 3. Thank you, Spirit, for the best 3 cards to begin this cycle. And I specifically called it a cycle because I know I'm talking to those of you, absolutely, Ace of Wands. We're talking about growth in your magic, growth in your divinity, growth in your enlightenment, growth in your enchantment, just growth in your and on your spiritual journey, okay? 5 of Pentacles. I feel like that I'm definitely talking to those of you who have probably tried and stopped, tried and stopped. And I said that a few minutes ago before pulling cards, that I'm talking to someone who you started something and you didn't get the support. You started something and then people started backing away from you. You started something and people started rejecting you because it wasn't what they believe. It's not conducive to who they are and where they are in their lives, okay? And I'm probably talking to those of you who you are the more spiritually developed individual in your group. So you decided to go off and learn and do and try some new things. You brought it back to the group, the family, the lover, the friends. They all rejected it. So you felt abandoned. You felt rejected. You felt ridiculed. They asked you, why are you studying that? Why are you wearing that? Why are you doing that? So because the group of people in your immediate circle did not support something that you try to venture out on spiritually, you have abandoned it. I'm talking to you. Okay. You were on a roll. You were growing spiritual. You were learning some things, but you wanted to take those things that you were learning and teach those that were in your immediate circles. Maybe even sometimes it's coming off as pushy. So, yeah, the rejection set in, or at least that's how you were filtering it. You filtered it as rejection. You didn't know that it was okay to allow them people to feel how they felt, and you keep navigating, you keep traversing this path that you had chosen to take. I'm talking to those of you who started and stopped because you didn't get the support from family. I'm going to hold on to these because Spirit told me to take them, and I will. So yes, absolutely. The Nine of Swords. This talks about anxiety. It talks about regret. It talks about shame and guilt. So because you did not get this goes hand in hand, because you did not get what you needed in the very beginning phases of you waking up, going through your dark night of the soul, going through your rebirth. All of that is the same, whatever you have chosen to label it. You didn't get what you needed, so it caused anxiety. Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have started this, or maybe I shouldn't have shared it with them, or maybe I am wrong. Maybe I do need to run back to church. Maybe I do need to not do anything and stay atheist. Maybe you tried to do something new that was not supported by all of these old energies that were around you, and because of that, it caused you to flop, drop, and pause. The Five of Wands, another five. Fives are about change and abrupt endings. It's about a lot of hassle. It's about a lot of burden. When five, there is no five in the tarot deck that is uplifting and positive. All of the Five of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles are all kind of detrimental. Okay, so you have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. And I'm going to talk about this one too. This is the Seven of Swords, but give me a second, because this builds on a whole different part of your spiritual journey. Some of y'all tapped in and found out that some of your people that you were trying to teach, that you've been around all of this time, were very treacherous, because coming onto the path, one of the first things that you begin to understand is who your enemies are and who they've always been. But I'll talk about this in a second, but I want to focus on right now the fact that you have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. To me, that is an indication that you have also may have allowed this to affect your pentacles, affect your money, affect your health, affect your creativity. Not having, because see, you took it personal, right? You took them not, you put more into being concerned about these people not supporting you than you put into understanding that you have your spirit guides, your ancestors, deities and angels and other things that you were beginning to learn about and possibly even work with. You put more reverence in who wasn't supporting you than into who is supporting you. And because of that, you really created more of a hassle for yourself than need be. The Five of Wands can also talk about people who test you in a competitive way. So you know, you're learning these things, and then maybe you're taking it to somebody in your surroundings that's very biblical, very religious. These people think that they are, they're Bible scholars, right? And they were testing your information. And maybe you didn't feel solid enough, concreted enough, founded enough in your spirituality to be able to combat what they were saying. So it seemingly felt like that everything they were saying about why you don't need to be doing this and why you need to go back to said thing and why you need to put that down because you don't know nothing about it. It seemingly sounded like they were making sense because you didn't have enough knowledge to combat what they were saying to you. Doesn't mean that what they were saying was true. You just didn't know how to combat it. You didn't have any rebuttals. You didn't, and that took you, that did something to your mindset. Okay, they did something to your mindset. And I know that because of the Nine of Swords. That's somebody who's up, just kind of in deep contemplation because you're like, oh, wow, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. You started to question yourself. You started to second guess everything that you have been teaching yourself, everything that you've been learning because you didn't know how to formulate it in a way to combat somebody who was being combative and argumentative, and really nothing that you could have said to these people or that person would have changed their mind. These people, which I do believe that this person that is being argumentative and combative and trying to test your knowledge with their knowledge, they're one of these Seven of Swords people. This is somebody who they probably always try to undermine you, even in simple things. Way back in the day, growing up, prior to you waking up, that person was a trickster energy, a heckler in your life anyway. But I think it has taken you to kind of tap in, and now your eyes are open, and now you see them for who they are. Nevertheless, and I could be picking up on an old timeline. Maybe this is how things were when you first got on. Maybe you're further down the timeline now, further down your path now, and you know who these Seven of Sword people are, and you're just agreeing with me at this point, like, yeah, because this is what happened when I such and such. And now you're independent spiritualist. Now you are a sovereign spiritualist. You don't care anything about them people or those type of people. Matter of fact, you've released all of those people that were in your life at the point when you were, spiritually activating. And then I could be talking to some of you. This is your right now. This is your truth right now. Okay, so first and foremost, if you are resonating with the message, I would love for you to like, subscribe if you haven't already. But if this is your story, this is your current truth, you're right where you need to be, please stay where you are. You are exactly where you need to be because you are on the precipice of a breakthrough. You need people to come against what it is that you are learning. You need that because it's going to reveal who they are and where they stand. And when you know who somebody is, when people show you, well, not when people show you who they are, when your own higher self begins to show you who people are, then you know where to place them. Whether that means you're going to cut them completely off or you're just going to be very you feed people from a long handle spoon, so to speak, when you see them for who they are. These people probably have not been able, not have been able. These people, these Seven of Swords people, I don't think you've been able to see them for who they are. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. You've been blinded somehow by them. I don't know if they're because they're your parents. I don't know if it's because you just love them and love is blind, right? I don't know what it is. Place the energy where it belongs. You know why you have allowed these people to be this type of energy in your life. Because remember, they're combating you now and argumentative now about your spiritual path and what it is that you're trying to do. Because I'm getting the energy too that some of you are trying to change your diet. I don't know if you're going vegan or you're just stopping doing certain things. It could even be you're not drinking and smoking with them anymore. It could be stuff like that. And they're picking with you. They're taunting you. They're hecklers. So this is happening for a reason. It is for you to, number one, compartmentalize all of this, put people in certain categories. And once you get everything filed, get everybody filed, then you know how to deal with each individual. Some of them files you're going to throw completely away. Some of these people that are coming up in your mind's eye as I'm talking about this, you're over them anyway, literally and spiritually. You're over them. I'm through with you, and you're over them because you're spiritually elevated. So in both ways, you're over them because they really don't feed anything that you have going on. They're really just little teachers, little fires that you can put out. Because fires teach us things, right? And then some of them you can't get rid of because they are loved ones, or you have to be around them for a reason. Those are the ones that you file and you just know how to deal with them. You know not to share anything with them. You know not to cast your pearl to the swine when it comes to them, because in their case, they would be the swine. So you know what to do when you find out who the treacherous ones are, especially if you're not able to cut them off. Now, we are going through a cycle where this is the time that you cut people off. We're getting ready to start a whole new cycle for 2026. Whether you believe that the new year starts January 1st, whether you believe it starts spring equinox, whether you believe it starts on your birthday. In my opinion, all three of those are opportunities to start anew. January 1st is the chosen collective New Year day for the Western man. If you're in the West, take advantage of that energy. Most of us go about believing that the new year is spring equinox. That's when everything begins to bloom again. Because, I've heard the argument. I've been in the arguments of how could something be anew if things are dying, things are still dead. Because we know the winter solstice is more representative of things being in a dead state. Okay, so wherever you choose to place your belief, like I said, I believe all three. I believe we have 3 times that we can reset: January 1st, March 19th, spring equinox, and your birthday. Use all 3. Use the energy, the frequency of all 3. Okay. Nevertheless, what I'm saying is we're going over into what is called a reset for 2026. Okay. That's a 10 year. If you add 2 plus 2 plus 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2026 equals 10. If you know anything about the number 10, that's the endings and the beginnings. Okay, that's the endings and the beginnings. Really, you can drop the 0. Not that the 0 doesn't matter, because the 0 is very, very important. It's the representative of the womb. It's the representative of the spiral. It's the representative of reproduction. Okay, that's what the 0 means. But in this case, we can drop the 0 and just deal with the 1. All next year, you're going to be dealing with you, what you set in place for you, what you didn't set in place for you. And what you did do in this 9-year, 2025, what you did in your 9-year is going to be imperative. 9-year was essential for this reset. Have you been good to you? Have you been learning and unlearning? Have you been teaching? What have you been doing to prepare for 2026? Because it's not just preparing for a new year because it's the new year. We have new years every 365 days. This is not just a new year. It's a reset. It's a reset. So let's get back onto the card. So yeah. Many of you are dealing with your swords, your snakes. This is a snake year. 2025 was the year of the wooden snake. Okay. How many of you were tapped in, tuned in, and turned on high enough to really see who wasn't good for you? Because these people were really dug down deep into the grounds of you. These were not your visible snakes. These were not, people that you, soon as you saw them, you realized, oh, no, I don't bother with them. These were the people that have been, these were grounded snakes. These were people who'd been in your life a long time. And when you woke up, or as you began to wake up, you started to really see these people for who they were. Because for a long time, you had been blinded by, like I said, the love, the friendship, whatever purpose they played in your life. You had been blinded by that. Many of you finding out right now, as I speak, that your lover, your mate, your partner is your snake. Let's keep it going. If you're resonating with the message, like, subscribe, share, comment. We are going into the year of the horse. Everything's going to be moving. Everything's already moving. The law of correspondence means things are always moving. Nothing sits still. But there are times within that law that things are moving a little slower than others, right? Some years are slow years. Some years are quickening years. And then some years are quickening, but just in certain areas. Some years are slow, but just in certain areas. So you have to apply the energy where it goes. Either way, everything is always moving. Everything is always changing. But next year, we're going to be going through a quickening action. And it's a situation where if you don't know what you want, you're going to get left. Pew. That's all I hear when I think about 2026. Pew. People are going to be passing you. Opportunities are going to be passing you. Energies are going to be passing you. Frequencies, vibrations, things that you may need, things that you may have called in. You got to be ready. This is a stay ready to keep from getting ready year we're about to move into. If you say you want something, be ready for it because it's going to appear. We're starting to feel that already. That's been happening for a minute now. That's the transition that we've been feeling as Saturn is getting ready to come out of Pisces and go into Aries, because Saturn has been stationed in Pisces for the last, 3-4 years. So as it begins to move and vacillate and get in position to go direct into Aries, which is right in alignment with the year of the horse, because that's fast moving energy. That's a fire energy. It's not going to play with anybody. Now, it doesn't matter if your Saturn isn't in Pisces. Everybody will be affected by Saturn going into Pisces. It doesn't matter if your Saturn isn't in Aries. It doesn't matter where your Saturn is. Wherever Saturn goes, everybody feels it. Now, those who have their Saturn in Pisces, they've been feeling it the hardest because Saturn has been in the sign of Pisces. And those who actually have their Saturn, they're going through their Saturn return. Of course, they have felt it more intensely than somebody who does not have their Saturn in Pisces. Or for those of you who are not Pisces at all. It doesn't matter. We all have Pisces placements. We all have something in Pisces house. So those were the things that were triggered or activated or leveraged, right, during Saturn in Pisces. Well, no different than when it goes into Aries. Wherever you have Aries at in your chart, that's where you're going to feel, again, activation, triggered, or leverage. Whether it's the sun. Okay, some of y'all have Sun Aries. Some of y'all are Saturn in Aries people. Some of y'all have Mercury in Aries. Some of y'all don't have anything in Aries, but you have something in the first house, because that is Aries house. So place the energy where it belongs. Get on this knowledge. Okay, the people die from lack of knowledge, and that's not a physical death. That's a proverbial death. Okay. So when you have knowledge of things, you understand, kind of goes back to what I said about compartmentalizing. You know where to file certain things. Preparation rules the nation. Okay? So get in alignment. Get understanding. Show me more and show me clearly. Many of you are going to have to, whether you want to or not, you're going to have to begin to work on re-identifying with yourself, even if that means reinventing the wheel, even if that means investing in a new look. Some of y'all do not want to upgrade how you look. And this is not about ugly, cute. That's old 3D, lower level, childish, immature, stupid human shit. This ain't got nothing to do with cute. You need to look like who you are. Stop being a chameleon. Stop trying to adjust. Who are you? Become that. Look like that. Walk in that. Talk like that. Show up as that. Walk in your truth. Many of you, that's what this year was about. That old skin had to come off. That was your snake. You shedding that old skin because it don't work no more. That old mindset, that don't work no more. That old creation that you created, it don't work no more. Many of you are trying to hold on to facades that you built to survive. And that's okay, because we've all been there. But you don't need that no more. You don't need that version of you. You don't need that dialogue anymore. It came, it served, release it. Who are you now? Yeah, who are you now? You're not who you were when you tapped that version, right? So why are you still holding on to that identity? I know why many people hold on to old identities, because you're not ready to release some of the spoils that came with that old identity. But don't you know that your new identity is going to bring new spoils? You got to show up differently if you want something differently, right? Mm-hmm. That's the Queen of Cups. I'm sorry. That's the Empress. I don't know what my mind literally saw this and said the Queen of Cups. So that must be relative. That must be relative for my eyes to have seen this and knew it was the Empress, but said Queen of Cups. So who am I talking to? Am I talking to Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio? Could this message be resonating with you more than others? Because I don't know why my mind's eye saw Queen of Cups, but my eyes knew that it was Empress. Anyway, there is some value. Oh, okay. Because you more conflict. That's the third 5 card. We already have the 5. Okay. Ooh, it's a lot coming in right now. Because we already have the 5 of Wands. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Now here's the 5 of Swords. I am talking to someone who is in conflict with thyself. Okay, I understand. Thank you, sweet spirit. I said the 5 of Cups. I'm sorry, the 5 of... Get it together, because I'm trying to say so many things at one time. Because I'm shocked. I spoke heavily about all of the different 5 cards in the tarot. So the fact that you have 3 of the 4 5s in this reading, there is conflict within thyself. That's why my mind's eye saw the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is someone, when she's in her higher self, she's joyful, soft, gentle. And this is not gender specific, but because I am speaking directly on the Queen of Cups, I am speaking of more feminine aspects, okay? Someone isn't able to move in their Empress, okay, or in their Queen of Cups, okay, because the Queen of Cups is one of the energies that makes up the Empress. The Empress is an embodiment of the Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. She's all of those in her mastered form. That's why everything she touches turns to gold. That's why she's abundant. That's why she's prosperous. That's why there's people around her that just kind of worship her. Okay? She's creative. She's emotionally soothing for people. People just open up and talk to the Empress. She knows how to call in that which she deserves and desires. Her ability to gain and maintain her gains is immaculate. She is mentally stimulating to other people. That's why she's the Empress, okay? Somebody's having a hard time transitioning to their highest self because there's a lot of conflict around you. There's a lot of inner conflict with your mental. There's a lot of conflict with how you feel about yourself. And there's a lot of conflict about your creativity. Okay? It is. 5 of Swords. 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Pentacles. The only thing that's not out here is the 5 of Cups. Hopefully it doesn't come out, because I am going to pull a few more cards. But even if it does come out, that's okay, because sometimes things have to be revealed, pulled up, so we can face them. Because once you see something and it's in your face, you can fix it. You can acknowledge it. It goes all the way back to when I said you can file things in certain places. It's almost like when you're trying to clean up your office. Before you can actually clean up, you kind of got to put everything in certain piles, right? And then once you get everything in certain piles, you know, okay, this pile is for this pile is for that, that's for that, that's for that. Compartmentalizing, filing things. The only thing the Five of Cups lets me know, with it not being out, what it lets me know is you're possibly, I don't think that you're ready to really deal with the intensity of what I'm saying. Because the Five of Cups is somebody who is standing, and every time I think of the Five of Cups, I think of sitting on the dock of the bay. Somebody who was just kind of standing at the water, standing on the mountain, standing at the cliff, standing at the fork in the road. And you're looking at what was, and you're looking at what's to come. You got a lot of regrets, maybe a lot of guilt, a lot of shame about what was. But you're hopeful about what is. Either way, on every card where it's symbolized, where the Five of Cups is symbolized with people on it, because my Five of Cups isn't represented in this deck by a person. But most decks, it's represented by a person standing somewhere. And on all those cards, you normally see a little bridge. And to me, that indicates all you got to do is lay that burden down by that water. Lay that burden down on that mountain. Lay that burden down wherever you are on that cliff. And walk over that bridge. Go. Go. Let it go and go. Somebody just hasn't gotten to that point yet. I think you've gotten fed up enough where you're dealing with the fact that you feel rejected and abandoned because people aren't supporting you. And sometimes they can make you feel ill, mentally ill, sometimes physically ill. You've gotten to the point where you understand who's trying to compete with you and why, when you're just trying to love and share information and trying to move to your highest and greatest vibration and bring these people with you. You understand that. You also understand that, unfortunately, there are things that are outside of your control that has caused a lot of conflict because of your growth. And because of this growth, because of you growing above and beyond people that were in your inner space, it began to reveal the snakes. It began to reveal the treachery. It began to reveal the hate in the people that were around you. So all of these things, I believe that you already understand. You see it, feel it, but I don't think you're emotionally processing it. That's what has to be done, though, in order for you to catapult, go into that new stretch that bow era and thrust yourself into a higher, greater, more favorable timeline without said people. A lot of y'all that's another one of your fears. You know that once you actually deal with what is going on around you, that there are people that you love dearly that you ain't gonna be able to take with you. So a lot of y'all are not dealing with that Five of Cups. That's why it's not out here. You're not dealing with that Five of Cups because you know that it's gonna it's gonna force you to leave some people, places, things, behavior, cycles, patterns behind. If you really want this Empress energy, if you really want to be able to move in your divine abundance, in your divine assignments, in your upper echelon self, it's going to require you to do some things that many of y'all are not ready to do. Okay? All right, show me more. Seven of Pentacles, potential. Seven of Pentacles is about, this is very indicative of what I said when I first started the reading about that. Some of y'all started some stuff, because see, that's a card of planting seeds, whether they're mental seeds, physical seeds, whatever. You planted something. You planted something. Okay, you got some knowledge. You said, oh, I want to incorporate this into my life. I want to acclimate to this knowing. I want to apply this teaching, these learnings, these things that I am tapping into. I want to apply them to my life. So you begin to apply, meaning you begin to plant seeds. But you didn't tend to the garden. I think these seeds that you planted, you wanted other people to help you grow them. You depended on other people. You depended on things outside of you. And then you got lost. You dropped the ball. You fumbled, because the whole purpose in tapping into thyself is understanding that this process is an individual process. I could be talking to some of y'all who the universe, God, your higher self, whatever you call it, was trying to get you to learn that you need to start depending on you. You're too codependent on people, on what they say, on what they do, if they help you, if they don't, if they believe you, if they don't, if they love you, if they don't. So when they don't fall through, you fall out. You fall off. So I'm talking to some of you who just need to retap their potential. Get back in the flow. Start back doing the things that you had begun to apply and do. It doesn't matter who does not support you. You support you. Show me more and show me clearly. It's a lot going on. And many of y'all are going to start to feel rushed, but don't. Your new year, you might miss the jet of utilizing the new year energy that starts on January 1st. Prepare yourself for March 19th. Okay? You got until your birthday. But you do have to go ahead and get this ball rolling. Okay? If you want to be able to utilize all three, that's wonderful. The more, the merrier. But I do believe that some of y'all ain't going to make it, because you're just now getting understanding. You're just now getting inner standing. So, or you had it, then you dropped it, and then you're just now picking it back up. And that's, like I said, that's okay. That's okay. You might need to, many of y'all are going to have to go into some intense isolation on the new year, and you're going to have to stay there for about 3 months. You're going to have to stay in some isolation because you didn't do any of the work that you needed to do in 2025. We all arrive at different times, okay? And that's okay. But if you want to fast track, go into isolation from January 1st until March 19th. Everything that you should have been doing in 2025, you can kind of do a crash course if you're willing to go into isolation. Okay? And that is going to mean cutting off people, places, and things that you know are not good for you. Cold turkey that. If you can do that from January 1st to March 19th, you will jump into your reset. But that's a crash course. It is going to feel like your world is tumbling down. It will be. But some people need that, and some people prefer that. But that's just one of the ways that you can kind of, streamline this energy quicker versus having to be drugged through 2026 trying to do it a little bit at a time. Now, for some of you, that's the way it needs to be done anyway. You need to just take your time and pace yourself, but be prepared for the drawback and the setbacks because you didn't do anything that you should have done in 2025, right? So those are just a few options. Just a few options. Show me more, show me clear. I'm almost 40 minutes in. This reading is going to take so long to upload, but that's okay. When it does upload, it's going to reach exactly who needs to hear it, okay? Card. After this card, 10 of Cups, absolutely. And I'm going to end the tarot with this card because no better card to end it with than this right here. Because we know that the 10 of Cups, something just tingled in me. That's completion. That is what we're going into next year. The 10. Now, not necessarily the 10 of Cups because we're not going into a water year. We're going into a fire year. But what this does let me know is that peace and joy, family, emotional intimacy with thyself, the rekindling of love, For those of you who want intense love and partnerships, something that you're being guided to let go of that's been stopping that's going to be available to you. Now, the joy, the peace, the family, many of you are going to focus more on that because you have let things go that's been in the way. Something has been like this conflict, because I'm understanding now, I'm hearing spirit say this conflict, this 7 of Swords and the 5 of Swords card. Many of y'all have been beefing with your family. There's been a lot of conflict within the family. All your conflict been with your family. But that's about to end. There's about to be a reset in the joy and the peace within the family. And it's probably going to start with you. It's probably going to be something that you do, something that you say, something that you host, something that you do that is going to bring the family back in harmony, back in alignment with joy and peace, okay? Again, for those of you who have been really, really seeking new love, new romance, new intimacy with an individual, whether it's a current partner or you're calling this in from a new place, right? There are things within you that you have worked with or worked on or released. It's like you've taken self-accountability. Okay. And because you did the work or you're doing the work, you're clearing your path to reset this new love or this old love or the current love to come back. Okay. Or to come in. So I think that everybody's going to feel this 10 of Cups differently in their lives, depending on the work that they've done. Things are going to be reset. Completion is available to those of us or those of you or those of us who have been doing the work. Okay. So let's go ahead and get a oracle card read out for you guys. And I'm going to wrap this reading up. Thank you, sweet spirit. This was an awesome read. You know, if it's for you, you stayed and watched it in its totality. So you know that it was your reading, right? And I thank you for that. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Okay. Courage. Courage. Strength, fierceness, and family. Didn't I not say that? Some of you, you're going to reset your family by having the courage to do something. Whatever that is, place the energy where it belongs. Ashe, I'm glad that came out to confirm what I had just previously said. Okay, let's get another one. I'm gonna pull 3. Show me another one. Ashe. Because I feel, I'm sorry, I feel and whatever that is, I can't even think of. Something is being intertwined and merged back together where it had been separated and things were not getting fed because whatever this thing is that needed to do that was loose. So it wasn't getting nourished. It wasn't getting nurtured. But now that it's back churning and turning together, it's going to be fed what it needs. It's almost like I'm seeing a rope that was being untwined. But now this rope is being twined back together. It's back unified. Thank you, Spirit. It's unity. Thank you, Spirit. Ashe. Get them knots out your rope. Untie them knots in your family. Innovation. I like that. I spoke on that too. New creations, new things coming into your life because you've dealt with the hurt, pain, trauma, drama, whatever, conflict within thyself. So when you deal with something, it can pass. So something new can come in. I said earlier that a lot of y'all's creativity was halted because of said things. So I'm glad to see this card as well. And let me let it be known that these are both 2 cards. This is a 2, this is 20, and this is 2. So there's that unity. There's that unity. Yeah, we're going into a 1 year, a reset year where people are going to have to focus on thyself. But the focusing on thyself brings about a unity with the people that are supposed to be in your life on this new path with you. Okay, so glad to see that. Thank you, Spirit, for one more card, and then I will wrap this reading up. Thank you so much for being here if you stayed throughout the entirety of this reading. The Divine Masculine. This isn't just about a man. We all have duality. We have masculine energy. We have feminine energy. There's a yin and a yang. There's the left side and the right side. There's the dark and the light. There's the sun and the moon. And you are made of both. Duality. We are dual beings. We have polarities and dualities, okay? So anyway, this is showing me that everybody's going to have to get in alignment with not just your feminine energy, but also your masculine. We're going into a masculine year, fast moving year, a fire year. Okay? Horsepower. That's active energy. That's active and electric. That's not like the feminine energy. More water, more calm, more. Now, don't get me wrong. The divine feminine is chaos in its entirety. But that's when it is elevated up into a chaotic energy. For the most part, the feminine energy is love, comfort, nurture, passion, learning. Okay? Masculine energy is fast moving, active, and electric. Everything that we're moving into in 2026. Catch it. Catch your divine masculine. Heal it if it needs to be healed. Activate it if it needs to be activated. Deal with it if it gets triggered. Deal with your stuff so you can be the best of yourself. Because that's what this whole life is about. Becoming the greatest, highest, bestest version of yourself. And we get opportunities to do this every day. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Again, I appreciate your time. Master yourself. We're masterful and we're masterpieces, okay? We're already perfect. We're just walking ourselves into that, okay? So do the work. Do what needs to be done. Ashe.